Hello, everyone, and welcome to SkaredCast. I'm Skari, your grateful host. Drukhari, Warhammer 40,000 person extraordinaire, and I just got back from ADEPTICON, my first ever real convention for tabletop wargaming. Hello to the weekly show. This is a show I normally do for Patreons on live stream, where you get to ask me a bunch of questions. I get to go over army lists and break those down. And every once in a while, I open the doors to all of you, the public, in order to enjoy what the patrons already enjoy and make you jealous of what they get to appreciate every single day or every single Friday. Yeah, unless I'm going to a tournament, which, yeah, anyway, we're back. Oh, I'm so excited. It's going to be super fun. I've got some grapes that I'm eating. I got water. I've been painting my little enforcer buggy. There you go. Look at that. That looks so good. I'm really, really excited. I'm very happy with how I did the tires. Finally getting it done. I got inspired going to Adepticon to do some hobby and just kind of paint some things. And so I've been like just really excited to get all that stuff done. And then this weekend, I'm going to the Toronto team tournament. I'm on the A team, as in A, as in Canadian A. It's a veritable who's who of Murder Row, which I am like super excited to be a part of. And we're going to play games. It's going to be great. Really, really excited about that. But hello and welcome. If you haven't already, make sure you leave a like on the video. Make sure you leave a comment. Hop into the chat and all that good stuff. You have a little bit of live streaming to do. Do me a favor and share the video. A huge shout out to all of you for joining me. Let's do this. Oh, yeah. Okay. Good morning, Zinth. Good morning, Jack Bear. Cosmic is not first. Somebody else beat him to the punch. Sorry, Cosmic. Hello, Foz, Josh and Muffins. Thank God it's Friday. Yeah, I know, it's Friday. Feels like just the beginning of the week. Because I work on weekends. I didn't have to do anything at Mini Wargaming this week. We drove back on Monday, got back into Canada. We're like, thank goodness we made it back into Canada. And then we got to Mini Wargaming at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and I just drove back. And then Tuesday and Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like all the days I've actually been super busy catching up on all the stuff I didn't do, because Adepticon was like a week, almost a week and a half. It was like a full 7 days of like commitment to go to Adepticon. Driving down on the Monday, setting up the Mini Wargaming booth on the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Man, what a wild ride. No, Tuesday we drove down. Wednesday we set up the booth. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday was the event, and it was amazing. I met so many awesome people, and I saw so many cool games, and I got to it was just fantastic. I cannot wait to go again. Brent, I'm feeling great. Thank you for asking. I feel good. I'm a little tired. I had to wake up at like 5:30 a.m. because I had a coaching call at 6 a.m. and then a coaching game at 7 a.m., which lasted like till 11. So let's just say I've been busy this morning. Now this thing here, then I've got one more call, 2 more calls today, and then I have to drive down to Toronto because Dan from the Red Dragon, who has been sponsoring my rise to the #1 of the ITC this season. That's my goal. And I also have one more call. They got an Airbnb for the entire team, so we're going to go hang out. And then tomorrow morning, we have to be at the venue like 7 a.m. And it's 2 rounds, 3 rounds, and 2 rounds. So we're going from 7 to like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night tonight, and then 7 to like 4:30, 5 o'clock tomorrow. I mean, Sunday. Man, what a wilder. It's going to be crazy. I'm super pumped about it. Hello. Yeah, nice to see you too, Jack. Thanks for coming to hang out. Richard Wallace, hello. Mike. Other guys just said it's yours to lose. Well, that's very nice of them. I do think that we have a fantastic team. Cheese Bowl. Hey, Scary. How do you deal with Tau? They sit back and shoot you off objectives. I try rush in and tie up units. But vehicle walker heavy list have big guns never tire. Yes. Whenever playing Town of 1, make sure you double check your terrain. Make sure you're playing with good terrain. And number two is they want you to run out into the open, so don't. Don't run out into the open. Don't rush them. Let them come to you. Just hide behind walls and do as little as possible. Like, don't sacrifice anything, and just do it that way. That's usually the best way. Don't play the game your opponent wants you to play, because then you're just you're just falling into the trap. So the way that the weekly show works is, first I ramble for about 5 to 10 minutes. So we're almost at the end of the rambling. Then I go over the Patreon Q&A, so I put them here so you can read along with the questions. Patrons can post a question every week. I compile them, and then we go through them, and it's a great little discussion topic point. So you get to be, hello, Redrum. It's alive, Scary. Hello, I am alive and live. Yes. Then we go into the list crunch version or part of the show, which is select Patreon tiers can submit an army list for every show that I do, and then I read it and give you a couple of pointers on your army list. So you can use it to develop your list, like ask me for ideas or whatever. It's a great way to tap into my 30 years of experience playing Warhammer and, kind of help you out a little bit, make it a little faster for you. So without further ado, anything else I want to touch on? Well, oh yes, at the Tabletop Forge, my friendly local game store here in Barrie, Ontario, Canada, we have started, or the store. It's a club. It's a store, gaming area, that sort of stuff. But they have like leagues and things like that. We just started a Crusade League, which I am very, 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 very excited about. Why? Because like I get to play more games, which is always fun. And B, there's like 20, there's over 20 people in this little Crusade League, which is hilarious. I just had my first game last night. I have another one. We can do 4 games, up to 4 games every 2 weeks. However, one of them is like a schedule game. You have to play like a league, but then you can add in up to 3 games. Super fun. I'm so pumped about it as well. I firmly believe more competitive players should play Crusade, says Runes and Rhetoric. I have been saying that for decades. for decades I've felt that playing narrative games makes you a better competitive player. I've talked about it before on many podcasts and everything like that, but it's about the asymmetry of a lot of the missions and the rules, and it basically just makes you better at playing Warhammer. Thinking on your feet, getting creative with problem solving. And I think that a lot of competitive players shoehorn themselves by fitting into a little box where they won't really have an opportunity to expand their problem solving skill set. So yes, I'm a bit of a outlier in the sense that I don't I don't really only do competitive. I love all sorts of gaming. I love the hobby. I love narrative. I love friendly pickup games. I love high competitive, like cutthroat games. It's just fun for me. I really enjoy it. Oh no, I missed the start. Needed coffee first. That's okay, Foz. Welcome in. You can always go back and rewatch it. The wonders of the internet. Also, really fun fact. This is the regular tone of my voice. So my voice tends to be a little higher on the tonality, which, sometimes rubs people the wrong way, or, I feel over my life I've noticed that like the tone of my voice, I don't know, it just hits a chord sometimes with folks. So I was in a conversation. It was fun. Everybody was hanging out in the lobby. Shout out to the folks that I was hanging out with. That was really fun. But I was hanging out. Hello, William Payne. And so I was like, we were all listening to different conversations, like 15 people at this, or 16 people sitting around. And I was like trying to hop in the conversation. Nobody was like paying attention to what I was saying, but like other people would hop in and people would pay attention to them. I was like, I wonder if it's the tone of my voice. So I dropped my voice an octave. And then all of a sudden, people were listening to what I was saying. So it's weird, that tone pitch. I was like, Maybe I just need to, make myself speak in a lower tone of voice. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, it was really great to meet you. Thank you so much for Adepticon was great. I highly recommend it. Stay tuned because I think me and 3 other people might go to the 40K teams at Adepticon. Oh yeah. You do kind of have a squeaky kid tone. I know, it's like adults don't listen to what I have to say because I sound like a little child. They're like, ah, child. Sometimes don't travel far. If there's a lot of noise, it can get washed out. Deeper tone carries. Yeah, that makes sense. So I've always found, but then if I raise my voice, I count as yelling or whatever. Don't want to be yelling. It is what it is. And right on time, there's 10 minutes of rambling by Skari. Let's dive into the first part of the show. Q&A. This is the Q&A for patrons, but you're welcome, Internet. Make sure you like the video, share it, and of course, if you don't know me, I'm Skari, and I do videos, and I play Warhammer. I've been playing for almost 30 years. Yeah, 30 years. No breaks. And I do hobby stuff, I coach people. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy. Ramble on, good sir. Thank you, Fuzz. Thank you for acknowledging my happy place. Okay, let's dive in. So, Jack Bear asks or says, "Hello, Skari." Hello, Jack. Do you think there's a new character? Do you think there's a new character is coming this year? Drukhari? Question mark. If there's so, who do you expect the most? So, do I think there's going to be a new Drukhari character? Well, they've been adding a new unit, and it a lot of the times is a character. So I wouldn't be surprised if they give us a new character. Now, who do I expect the most? Well, I could see them redoing Urian Rakarth because he's like a staple. However, I could see them also doing something like the Decapitator. I honestly feel it'll be the Decapitator because they did a kill team with Mandrakes. They did I could see them kind of going in, or maybe I don't know, maybe a Scourge character. They've never done a Scourge character, so I could see them doing a Scourge character. Who knows? It could be an Archon that wanted to be a Scourge, or maybe they bring back Baron Sathanix, which is the Helion character. They honestly have there's so many options. But thank you for the question. That's a good one. Archon Morsan asks, as an optimistic Archon, me, an optimistic Archon? Never. How do you get the most out of witches in Reaper's Wager? Is there a role for them in Ynnari? Question mark. I watched a lot of your long-form TTS games and see you using 2 Chronos. Given their durability, utility, and bargain price, is there a case for Chronos spam? So, first of all, yes, every Monday, for anybody who's interested, every Monday I have been releasing a full form, so 3 to 4 hours long, practice match on Tabletop Simulator, recorded from Tabletop Simulator, of me practicing competitive Warhammer or coaching folks in a competitive setting and putting it on the Patreon page every Monday, 11 a.m. I already have them into the end of May. So I already have all those ready to go. They're out there. So if you want to learn and watch, it's a great way of doing it. I release them every week for Scourge, Trueborn, and Incubi level Patreons. So if that's something you enjoy, the link to the Patreon's in the description there. But 2 Chronos. I do love my 2 Chronos. Them and my 2 units of Mandrakes are my key scoring pieces. I love using them for scoring. So they're fantastic. As for Chrono spam, there are a few builds that I have thought about running that use 4 Chronos and 2 squads of 2 and Talos and Grotesques, and it's more of a meaty potatoes. Have I thought about running Chronos? Every once in a while, I'll try build a list with 4 Chronos in it if the Horde meta starts coming back again, because their little guns and flamers are quite good into a Horde meta, and they're one of the only guns we have that ignores cover, which is actually a big deal. So sometimes my Chronos in certain matchups are MVPs, against Guard, against Genius Seal Cult. So I wish I had multiple units of them. However, if you start putting too many points in them, it's like it detracts from other things that you need that can do damage and things like that. So it is a fine balance, you know. But in order to answer that question there. Now, as for the witches, my witches, I have 1 unit of 5 with Lilith. I have 1 unit of 5 that's on foot, and the way I get the most out of my witches is they're a very cheap 40-point OC 10 unit once split. That's it. That's literally what I use my witches for. Screening, taking objectives, taking up space on the table, dying, pressing a button every once in a while, doing an action here or there. That's kind of... As for in Reaper's Wager, I have had good practice using an Arc Raider Succubus and a Raider with 10 Witches for the Scout move, and that has proven to be good, but I've switched that to an Archon with Cabalites for sticking the objectives in the middle of the board early in the game if I go first, which is a lot of fun. As for a role for them in Ynnari, I think Ynnari, like, why would you take Witches when you can take, like, more Banshees? You know what I mean? Like, I just think everything in Ynnari is just better than Witches. Yeah. Reaver versus Hellion characters. Oh, a Reaver character would be awesome. Imagine if they give us a Scourge Smash Captain. Oh man, that'd be so cool. Surge character with any buffs for leading a unit would be broken. Cheese balls. Well, they just make 5 Scourge 200 points. Mr. Fish, you will probably get any new Drukhari nerfed as soon as it's launched, Scary. Well, if that happens, then I'm doing my job. If you've noticed, I haven't been to a tournament in a bit, okay? Just saying. I'm letting it rest. Maybe they'll pick up a bit of the data and give us some love. Good afternoon, Asherik. Thank you so much for your for being a YouTube member. That means a lot. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Tempest Terrain, and with Lilith, they're pretty scary. Yes. Already be beaten up by Necron since I played 40k. Really trouble with them. Is there any advice? Kill all the small things, Jack. Kill all the things that help them score points, and then try and kill one big thing at a time. Nerf Skari, not Drukhari. And that is the truth. Moving on, Crazy Disc says, good morning, Skari. Good morning. Singles tournament coming up. I am expecting quite a few Custodes players. What are a few things to be aware when playing into all infantry Custodes? And who does Lilith go into? Thanks. So, watch out for the advance and charge. Like, just be respectful of how fast they can move, depending on the detachment. The thing about playing into Custodes is a lot about which detachment they're running. Now, if they're running full infantry, usually it's Shield Host, which is probably one of the best ones. However, Lion's Blade seems to be really popular nowadays because of all the shenanigans they can kind of pull with it. Lion's Blade, yeah, but I recently played into Lion's Blade and tabled it with my Reapers list. 10 Hellions killed 6 Alaris Terminators in one combat phase. 10 Hellions. Like, that was a little bit over the average. The average, I think, is 4 Alaris. But, like, really? That was intense. They just wiped out, like, such an expensive unit. I was like, oh, this is amazing. Those Hellions have been absolutely incredible in Reaper's Wager. Sorry, as you can tell, my meds haven't kicked in yet. Let's see. Yeah, but that's like, you have to kind of try kill all the small stuff. You have to force the action. So, like, if they have a lot of Wardens and they've got their 4-up Feel No Pain that they haven't used, you want to kind of, like, threaten them with a bunch of stuff to, like, encourage them to use their 4-up Feel No Pain. And you really, like, Lilith is just good into infantry, but she won't kill a full unit. She'll kill, like, 2 to 3 by herself. So you just have to be careful you don't, like, go into something that is going to be overwhelming. Now, move blocking works great in Custodes. Like, you have to try and taking the objectives is really important against Custodes to prevent them from scoring primary. So you have to be careful about the OC mechanics, right? Especially if they can, like, resurrect the banner and stuff like that. So just be careful. But focus on one thing at a time. Try split them up. Screen so they never deep strike behind you. Always keep them in front of you, and just always respect that advance and charge if they have any blade champs or whatever. I'm hoping we get more than just a single character, but we'll see. Skari hasn't been to a tournament, and we only have around a 38% win rate. Since it's like Skari hasn't gone to a tournament since the last tournament he went to, and the win rate has tanked. Well, maybe we get some buffs. You know, I can only love it. I'll love it. Give me anything. Even the 10 points they took away from Cabalites and Witches, like gave me enough wiggle room to like fiddle around my lists. That's why this weekend I'm running the double bomber list again, because it fit at 2,000 points exactly with all the upgrades I wanted. Double bomber list again? Yay! That means I'm gonna make it 300-point bombers. Oh man, that'd be so funny. Imagine if things went down and then they just made the bomber more expensive. That'd be so dumb. Okay. Hopefully that helps, Crazy. Do you think the low win rate, people playing in Ynnari rather than Drukhari? It could be. Like, people could just be playing Ynnari, because Ynnari like has a lot of great mechanics. And some people just like winning, you know, so they're like, oh, I just want to try and get the easy button, or they listen to what's on the internet, or they like the style of the detachment better. Everybody to their own, it's fine. Nostal asks, hey Skari, I've been going against some Eldar, and the Dark Reaper's indirect fire, and indirect in general, seem to really mess up my Scourges. How do you deal with this when you play? So, one of the main things is disrespect the out-of-line sight shooting. Like, if your opponent has out-of-line sight shooting and you give them one target, they will shoot everything at that target and they'll kill it effectively, out-of-line sight. If you give them multiple targets that they want to try kill, they might not kill everything, but at least you're in position to be able to play the game. So you have to make sure that you are careful. Like, keep your Mandrakes alive. I think Mandrakes are more important than Scourge in a lot of situations. If you really want to deep strike Scourge, I don't like deep striking Scourge, but sometimes I'll deep strike one unit instead of the like 2 units. Most times I will put everything on the table, Scourge everything, and just be like, look, you can't kill everything, right? And just make sure that I'm playing the game. So then the ally sight guns have like a choice to make. They can go here, they can go there, and eventually, and sometimes they just don't hit, right? They go, oh, I need 4s, and they roll terrible or whatever. Like, it's just about giving them a lot of failure points, right? Yeah, Razurik. The Ynnari is definitely new, so it's like shiny, right? I was playing with the teleport detachment. We'll almost know things the first round, second round, but the big things go straight into my troops and army dies very soon. So, Jack, I feel like a lot of that sort of stuff is done with better positioning. So using the terrain to prevent your opponent from just being able to kill you, and making sure you're screening so that if they're deep striking places, they don't get to go where they want to go. Leave the bomber alone, Games Workshop. We need more planes. Yeah, well, the thing is that they haven't really developed the plane well. By the way, like this video, please. You know, if you're watching, 60-some people, 16 likes. I think we could get up to 50 or 60 likes. Right? Right? Thumbs up. You know, just education on the algorithm. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Josh and Muffin says, hey, Skari, I've noticed your list and the other Reaper's Wager lists do not run the Conductor of Torment enhancement. Can you speak on this? So, see, the Conductor of Torment, like, lets you flip the wager. So you can either gain a pain token and flip it, or pay a pain token and flip it. I think one of the things is that it does cost a pain token if you're just running Drukhari. There is a list that I'm running that sort of like does have it in there, but it's not designed to do it every turn. It's designed to sort of flip the wager on like a key turn where I just need to try and kill something specific, as an example. But the thing is, it's A, expensive, B, has to be on the table, so like whatever character you pick has to be like on the board, and it can only be given to a Drukhari character, I believe. So it's like, I wish I gave it to a Harlequin lone op that could sit in the back and do stuff, right? But you know, it just doesn't, like, a lot of times you're just taking it as just for the strats, right? So if I end up getting some points over there, I might. But the thing is, you're taking an Archon, you're taking Lilith. Like, a lot of times you only have what? The Beastmaster that could take it. And if you put it on the Beastmaster, they tend to die within like the first 2 turns because they're just a Beastmaster is aggressive. And so then you'd have to take what? A Succubus, or a Succubus would probably be the best, but then she has to be on the table, but she could like hide. Like, I don't know, there's but instead of a Succubus with that enhancement, I could take another Kronos. I'd much prefer taking another Kronos than that, you know? So that's sort of like my thought process with that. If you could take Drukhari to a tournament, which faction would you take? If you couldn't take Drukhari to a tournament, which faction would you take? That's a great question. Well, I have my Black Templars. I have my Guard. I've been playing Adeptus Mechanicus in my 40k league, like competitive league, and that's been really fun. Make Conductor 5 points and I consider it. Yeah, like, you know, it is a little too expensive for what you get, in my opinion. And having to pay like a pain token to do it, meh, you know? And it only happens like in the command phase. So if I could like do it in like at the start of any phase, pay a pain token to flip it and be like, oh, I need to flip it right now in the fight phase, boop, and like flip it or something, I think that would be really good. But as it stands right now, it's like a little awkward mechanically. And of course, pain tokens are like a very precious resource for Drukhari. Like, you have to use your pain tokens very effectively. And then we have Mads Givsen. Givsen? I don't know if I'm saying that right. Hey. I'm guessing you saw the guy winning a tournament playing Realspace Raiders with 6 Talents, 3 Ravagers, 3 Squads of Darklon Scourge, and no Chronos. So my original list from early 10th edition is what you're saying. Yeah. What do you think about that? Has he seen something everyone else missed? Is Realspace Raiders the true OG? Realspace Raiders are okay. You know, like, it's not bad. The thing about the thing about Dark Eldar is, number one, if you know how to play it, it's very hard to play against. Like, if you're playing against a Dark Eldar player that knows what they're doing, any list does well. If you're playing against a Dark Eldar player that is less experienced, any mistake they make and you just crush them. So they probably have a good experience. 6 Talos is nothing to scoff at. Like, 6 Talos are dangerous. 3 Ravages and Darklon Scourge means that you can sit back and shoot. And then, so there's a couple things. Number one, I'm curious what terrain format it was, because that doesn't seem like a WTC terrain format, right? So what kind of terrain? Number two, how experienced was the player? And number three, what were his matchups or their matchups, right? What did they play? Was it 3 rounds, 4 rounds, 5 rounds, right? And how many people were at the event? Was it multiple undefeateds? That sort of stuff. So it's a lot that goes into winning a tournament, not just, oh, I brought this list. However, if this is the list they've been playing since like the start of 10th edition and they've played 300 games with it, you know, they're going to get good with it eventually, right? You know, I would always recommend Kronos, but then again, that's the cool thing about this game. People can run whatever the hell they want. As long as you play enough games and get reps in and understand what you're doing, you can do relatively well. You know, it's just how it is. Misa says, oh, please don't get AdMech nerfed. They can't take it. It's been, actually, my games have been hilarious. It's been 3 games of me going, okay, shooting phase, and then just rolling dice for 20 minutes, and my opponent kind of slowly drifting away until they have no models left. And that's just how my Adeptus Mechanicus games have gone. Just have to play perfectly, so your Harleys are the last thing to get a kill, then Conductor's just a free token gen. Yeah, it's like, you know, especially if you have both Harlequin. Like, the Conductor of Torment is there if you basically want to play, like, just Drukhari, essentially, in a way. Yeah. Talus can be one of the most efficient units. Yeah, they are. Feel pain, damage, can fight, can shoot. They're just very good. And then as soon as you kill something, they get permanently pain tokens. Like, I only own 5 Talos. Actually, I own 6 if I use the classic one. I might have to get that guy already. I'd like to run like a 6 Talos army or whatever. Hello, Archimade. Ha, the Darkkin. Ha, the Darkkin. Oh, well, that's great for the questions. Thanks a lot for all your questions. You know, a little bit of a water break here before we move on. Oh, yeah. And I'm definitely going to have a delicious grape. These grapes, by the way, are way too big. I don't understand. Ah, delicious. Sam. Hi, Scary. Hello, Sam. Hope you enjoyed ADEPTICON. It was great to meet you at the mini wargaming booth. Thanks for coming over to say hi. It was awesome. I met so many people. And talk about good old 4th edition 40k. Thanks for the dice. You're very welcome. I always have dice on me or something on me to try give to folks that come see me at events, because without you, all of you out there, I would not be able to do what I do. So it means a lot to me that I get to play games and coach and teach and entertain, well, hopefully entertain, as my job. I still think it's very weird, but I'm eternally grateful. So thank you very much to all of you for making this possible. And of course, I would absolutely sit and chat and give you a little dice or something when we meet in person. Okay, so moving on, the second part of the show, the third part of the show technically, is the list crunch. Now, the list crunch is an opportunity for select Patreon tiers, the Scourge, Trueborn, and Incubi level Patreons to submit a list every single show. And I go through it, a couple of minutes per list, and I basically give you my thoughts. You can take them, you can leave them, you can, infer what you will, and hopefully that helps you develop a list concept that you're more comfortable with over time, or answers any specific questions you might have had as well. You also work crazy hard at it too. Well, thank you, Foz. Means a lot. Hey, Scary, do you know if there are any tournaments you plan on attending in the Maryland, D.C. area? Not in the near future, but not out of the question. Definitely something I could look into. Okay, let's dive into this. Phil and I had a great conversation about time management and clock use yesterday, actually. That was a very good, session. Yeah. Time management, saving time, little tricks and tips of, making sure you're organized and have, your dice counted and, all that stuff. Just 30 seconds here, 30 seconds there. So he's been playing with some Ynnari. Here is an Ynnari list after playing 2 games with the detachment. So this would be for your 3rd+ games. Not sure the best way to use Ivrain in the new codex. I tried her on foot with 10 Incubi, just running up the board. Now I'm going to try it with 5 and a Venom. With 10, they overkill and still struggle into things, even with rerolls at Strength 4. Yeah, that's true. The way that I've seen her being used is, and the way I have used her, is 10 with Ivrain and the Vizark, because of the fights first. I think the fights first is what really makes that unit, because then it's like a heroic intervention threat that's very tough for certain armies to kind of deal with, especially with lethal intent, because you can kind of keep them around and then yeet them after the shooting phase to really threaten a heroic intervention on something that was thinking of charging something isolated. So there's a lot of play with a big brick of 10 on foot, especially on Ynnari. Now, 5 in a Venom, sure, it'll go in and kill stuff. I personally like the 10 in Ynnari more. When I have Drazar, I run Drazar in there with 5. Also, the D-Cannon is kind of fun because it has so many wounds in the Guardian blob, threatens the mid-board, still feels overcosted, but when the dev wounds trigger, it rips. Do you think it's worth keeping? So, if you're point pinching, if you're pinching for points, I would drop it down to a Shadow Weaver or whatever the other out-of-line of sight gun platform is. I would love, I don't think you need to put it in the Guardian unit. It's fun, but I don't think it's needed. I think it's better to have something that can sit in the backfield and screen your back corner. And I think the D-Cannon at short range isn't really for that. But it is scary. The D-Cannon is one of those things that, you pay for it. There's a reason it's super expensive. But it is swingy, because you don't have the fate dice to sort of flip the dev wounds anymore. And that does sort of make a big difference on the guarantee of damage, which is, it used to be able to guarantee damage with it with the D, but not anymore. So I don't mind the big Shadow Weaver, because you can hit something, make it take basically mortal wounds when you move around, and little hazardous rolls for moving on units. And I think that's a really good use, especially to start damaging larger units, or just be annoying to just do some damage over time. But it can shoot stuff out of line of sight from range and keep your back corner protected, which I think is important because with elves, you want all the little units in your army to be doing stuff, right? And if you have to keep something back in a corner, it's like annoying. So the cheapest, most effective thing you can keep back is a Shadow Weaver. The thing that I would like is the Knight. I'm still a fan of the Night Spinner, you know, but what do I know? I'm only the best Eldari player in on the ITC last season. So that's right. You better know this. So let's take a look at the list because your lists have been good. So Autarch, Farseer of Rain, Guardian Defenders for that doesn't sticky, right? That a lot of folks have been running the sticky, but if you've got Cabalites, you don't need them. If you're not running Cabalites, I highly, highly recommend Storm Guardians for sticky. Venom, D-Cannon, Ynnari Incubi, Spiders, Skyrunner, Conclave. Interesting. What's that for? One Warwalker. I do like the Warwalker. One Striking Scorpion. One Shining Spear. 5 Rangers. Howling Banshees. Double Fire Dragons. Double Dark Reapers. What's the second? Oh, there's Cabalite Warriors. Never mind. They're literally staring at me in my face. Staring me in my face. Yeah. Then the Defenders are great. You could even get rid of the Defenders and put other stuff if you got the Cabalites. You don't really need the Defenders. And you have like 100 points to play around with. Like, to be honest, I dropped the Defenders, dropped one of the Venoms, because you only need to split the Cabalites once. And then you could put in 5 more Incubi and try and find, and then the Conclave, and then put in the Vizarch. I think the Vizarch would be incredible, personally. Maybe even an Archon. I actually do like the Archon, because especially in a unit of Cavalite Warriors, he gives them like a free strat, so you can like grenade for free. And he's like toss a little grenade every turn for free from the Cabalites, because of their little Phantasm grenade launcher or whatever, and that's it, you know. And just kind of hop in and out of a Venom, you know, like just pop up, and there's a little combat character who can go. They're actually like a little Scary Boat. So a Scary Boat is a Venom with 5 Cabalites with guns with an Archon. Is like very good. But I like the list itself. Oh, as you play, you'll find things you like. Like you're just playing around with the concept. But those are my thoughts. Can't wait to see what you come up with. Okay, Jack Bear. Let's take a look at yours. Seems like the Vizarch is the most forgotten model in Eldari right now. Vizarch is incredible. Yeah. Lore-wise, aren't you afraid that with time, Games Workshop dissolve the Drukhari into the Ynnari since they give more importance to Refrain? I doubt that'll happen. Refrain and the Drukhari in the lore are very much like split now. Like Refrain's her own thing. But the Dark Eldar are still very strong within their own sort of like little concept. But hello, everybody who just is tuning in. Thanks for coming to hang out. Stick around for a while. It's the weekly show. We're just having a good time. So we've got... Hello, Scary. This is Jack. Hello, Jack. This is Scary. I played a few battles from last time I posted. I'm also listened to your advice, tried to make some changes. Nice. The outcome was pretty nice. Thanks a lot for your help. You're very welcome. You know, I can only say stuff. It's up to you to put it into practice. So now I prepared a little bit different, which is not using the troop, using only a Void Weaver and a Solitaire. Yep. Maybe I'm going to use this list for the regular season championship in Taiwan. I also would like to know how to fight with an army that is using many monsters such as Tyranids, Invasion Fleet, Norn Emissaries, playing a Linchpin or Take and Hold. So Take and Hold is probably the hardest mission for Drukhari into some matchups. It is almost impossible to play because of the fact that they can just take so much primary so quickly. But that's why we live. We live for the challenge. So you're doing Hannibal with a clown mask. I love the name. Reaper's Wager, Lilith, Solitaire, Urien, Archon with Arc Raider. Excellent choice. I'm sad to see no Beast Pack. I think a Beast Pack in any Drukhari list is absolutely incredible. I would recommend a Beast Pack. Because Beast Pack equals Best Pack. Battle line, 10 cabs, 10 witches, yeah. Double venoms, yep. And that's the split, good. 3 grotesques, 5 mandrakes, 5 scourge, 10 hellions, chronos, 2 towels, Ravager, Void Weaver. Yeah, I like it. See, the only thing I could say here is I would probably drop the Ravager and try putting a second Void Weaver, personally. And that's just in general. Other than that, Double Talus great, Double Helm's great, Scourges great, Amazing Mandrake's great, Grotesque's good. They're fine. 80 points on them. You know, you could probably drop the Ravager and the Grotesques, put in another unit of Mandrakes, so put like 5 Mandrakes, and put another Void Weaver in. So, you know, you could do something like that, but the Grotesques are fine. So, I think one of the main things here is you do not have a effective screening unit, because you want to keep your Mandrakes alive and you want to keep your Cronus alive. So either you need a third unit of Mandrakes to put a screen up to be able to move block something, especially monsters, right? Like that's super important. Or in that case, I use the Beast Pack all the time, where they scout up, they move, and they don't even charge. They just make a wall, a line that prevents your opponent from getting too aggressive in the middle, helping you score primary points, especially on things like Take and Hold, or missions like Take and Hold. So that's where I see it. I'm like, okay, well, if I would have say, you know what, I would probably drop the Grotesques, drop the Ravager, put in a Beast Pack, right, and then like another unit of Mandrakes or something like that. I think you might have enough points for that. Yeah, just convert a Beastmaster. You know, use a Helion to make the Beastmaster with a whip, and you know, get an ogre size thing to use for the Chimera, the Claude Fiend, and use a couple of Fenrisian wolves as you know, you can buy a little box of Fenrisian wolves as Chimera, and then you can get some birds, anything bird related, to be a bird. Hello, Dorian, what's going on? Like, I do recommend. I know they might go the way of the dodo, but we've got what? At least 6 months. You know, we weren't on the you know, to be like made a codex soon thing, so you never know, right? But I like Beast Pack. Honestly, opens up so many strategic options as elves, and having that unit that can kind of move block and get into the middle is great. Why take away models? Yeah, exactly. Who knows? Sometimes they take away the models. Yeah, and it's like a great conversion thing as well. Yeah, well, they're all fine cost, Dorian. They're gonna take them away because they're all fine cost. But hopefully that helps you, Jack. And of course, stay active on the Discord. Ask for more feedback and stuff. And you know, over time, just put your head down. You're gonna learn. It takes a long time to learn, but it is worth it. It is worth it to learn. Moving on, Paul posted a list. Happy List Cruncho Day. That's right. So, for anybody who's new, List Crunch is the name of the segment. That's because it's like a bowl of cereal, and it's crunchy, and it's delicious, and it's a fantastic part of your nutritious competitive diet. It's a nice bowl of List Crunchos. Yeah, like, and that's the thing, Jack. You're going to have good and bad matchups, but you have to just practice playing good Warhammer. Staying alive and hidden, killing things that you need to kill and how much it takes to kill them, and move blocking, and remembering and screening and remembering everything. Every single model in a Dark Eldar army is going to die. Cheers to that. Yeah, the Beastmaster or the Court might become a kill team for sure. You know, that they're great. Like, I feel that they have a great option for that. You're very welcome, Jack. Okay. At my last GT, a player was able to take a Chaos Demon Shadow Legion list the third. Shadow Legion is very strong. He used a big unit of a Cursed Cultist with Dark Commune to jail his opponents. And I see he used Havocs, which is clever. They gain Deep Strike, so you could place them to get favorable lines on targets. Yep. That's sort of like the standard Shadow Legion list. Or like, is becoming the standard Shadow Legion list. Flesh Hounds seem mandatory for detachments. Their back into Deep Strike ability really helps. That's all. Flesh Hounds are fantastic for just scoring. They're cheap, they're fast, they get places. They're also weird oblong bases, so they're fantastic for move blocking. Like, Flesh Hounds are great. So here's my attempt. Great Unclean One scouts 9 because of his enhancement, which seems ridiculous. I'm trying to picture a sneaky Great Unclean One. Maybe he just slowly rolls into them. the battlefield. He's like, he's like a Sonic the Hedgehog if Sonic was very, very slow. Or you can say like trips out of excitement to get to the battlefield. He's like, oh, and he like jolly laughs and like just like rolls over and like stands up 9 inches away from the deployment zone. That'd be so funny. Let me know how you think a Great Unclean One would scout 9. Like, what is the, how does it, in your mind's eye, how would a Great Unclean One run into the middle of the board? You can't see it because your eyes are burning. Yeah, that makes sense. Be'lakor looks fantastic. Yeah, Be'lakor is strong. Like, yeah, his ability to heal every time now is good, but he's still like one of the weakest greater demons, so you have to like be careful he needs to be supported. You can't just like leave him on his own or he will just die. Hey Troy, what's going on? Thank you so much for being a YouTube member as well. It means a lot, man. Maybe he makes big sneaky cloud of stench and flies. Yeah, big sneaky fly cloud. It rolls. Yeah, he just rolls. That's how I picture it. He just rolls. I am thinking Be'lakor is not needed, says Dorian. Yeah, like Be'lakor might not be needed, but he's a cool tech piece. Hound Scurry for sideline actions. Yep, I'm told a Chaos Lord with Legionnaires is very points efficient, and I could use his free strat ability to put his unit demons back in Deep Strike. Yes, that is how that works. Very efficient points wise because you get the reroll wound rolls in combat on objectives. You also get your Lords once per game Super Saiyan ability, and you get extra CP every battle round, which is very, very good. Havocs are to take on vehicles and monsters. I wonder if it should be 2x4 last cannons in each squad or have a unit of autocannons. I would just say last cannons, honestly. Flamers will put out 66 torrent shots to deal with Horde, keep picking them up and repositioning them. I'd also put in Chaos Knight Wardog Brigands or Huntsmen instead. It depends. Like flamers are okay. I think screamers are better for like harassment. I think if you're gonna take flamers, you probably want to take smaller squads. So if you want to deal with hordes, I think brigands are just your best bet for that. The other player had 2 units of blood letters. I currently only have 1. Wonder if I should go tougher with plague bearers. Plague bearers give you sticky, so if you don't have anywhere sticky, like I guess cultists can make you sticky. But just something to keep in mind. My next event will probably be at X Planet on April 26th. Nice. And I love the events at X Planet. There's a good level of play there, competitive play, which is always really fun, and great people. So you always get like a good opportunity to meet lots of folks. Okay, so Paul, one of the things that I want to kind of bring up with your list is it's like every event you very drastically change your list. And so what I would like is, to see you try and go to like 5 or 6 events with like this list, right? If that makes sense. I'd like it if you just like focused on one list and refined it a little bit instead of having big changes from event to event to event. If you wanted to sort of like improve. Now, this seems like a fun list, and every game you play is going to be super fun, and all the lists you make are usually really fun. However, I would like if you want to try and get up there, you have to sort of pick a lane and stick in it. Stick to that lane. Because if you switch, every time you reset a lot of your list, like 1,000 points, or take out big demons and put in other demons, every time you reset a list, it's sort of you have to start from scratch. So then you're starting with like 0 reps. Because you don't know how all the units interact, you don't know what the damage output's going to look like, you don't know what your list specifically does into multiple matchups. So that was my recommendation. Just like stick with one list and only change like maybe 200 to 300 points tops after you've played 5 to 6 games with the same list, basically. So, I don't know. That's a challenge for you, Paul. Hey, Joel, what's going on? Did I miss all the fun again? You've missed some of the fun. I haven't gotten to your list yet, so we'll get there eventually. Yeah, no problem, Paul. And but let's go over the list real quick. So, Be'lakor, check. Bloodthirster, check. He fades. The Bloodthirster, fadey Bloodthirster, fantastic. Great Unclean One, Leaping Shadows, aka rolling to the middle of the board. Shout out to Lionel. That's right. X-Planet. Woo! Shout out. I'm actually going to be doing the stream next Friday. Going to be going for the live stream, 40K live stream on X-Planet Live, where they've been doing a live stream for 40K every Friday, which has been awesome. He's been keeping up with it. And I get to play. I'm going to play my Black Templars. He was like, play your Black Templars. I was like, hell yeah. So it's going to be super fun. I'm really looking forward to that. Okay. That's right. More work. More work. Maybe someday I'll have a life that doesn't include working. Bloodletters. Nice. Nurglings. Ah, I love it. Nurglings are amazing. Another unit I really like are Blue Horrors. -1 leadership bubble, I think they still have. An infiltrate, I think they still have. So it allows you to feed off more of your battle shock mechanics around the Eye of Chaos or whatever it is and things like that as well. So 5 Flamers, 4 Fleshhounds. I love Fleshhounds. 1 Lord, Cult. Okay, so you do have your sticky with the Cultists. You don't need the Plague Bearers. Havocs. I would definitely do the mole last cannons. Just kill tanks, crack open land like transports, just kill stuff. 5 Legionnaires and a Sorcerer. So is that because he gets what? Take away cover? Or +1 AP? Is that like the reason? So he can teleport down. Or I guess he's also a really cheap points thingy. Should I go 3 times 5? I don't think you need 3. I think you can go 2 squads of Havocs with last cannons. Yeah. Sorcerer is +1 AP on a target. Yeah, so that does help the last cannons to like ignore cover in a way. So that's really good. Also, he's like a cool little teleporty person. However, are you at 2,000 points on the nose? You're 80 points. Like, couldn't you take the Sorcerer away and put in, like, the Changeling? You know, to have a lone up that could just go and do actions and be in a corner, like, in the open and screen out a whole part of the board. Maybe shut someone down from acting, you know, or the Blue Scribes. The Shadow Legion has an ignore cover strat. Oh, nice. Okay, so that's pretty cool. That means that your last cannons are effective last cannons with ignore cover, especially. They're very, very good. So yeah, like you've got enough units to do actions with. You have a couple of hammer units, especially the big Bloodthirster. You got Nurglings to screen out the midboard to allow your big dude to kind of like hop onto the, like, to just roll onto an objective. He doesn't have sticky though, so like he gets onto the objective, it just makes him like get into the fight faster. But of course, you have to remember that you can, like, if your big Great Unclean One or any of your Grey Demons is isolated, they tend to get mobbed up on and killed. So you do have to be careful about that. Yeah, I really like the Changeling personally because of the fact that it messes with your opponent's math, and it can, like, every once in a while you roll that 6 and it's like, well, you can't do anything to me, right? And it's just like such a wild card. It can really kind of do stuff. Oh, no other epic characters. Oh, you're saying no Be'lakor. Okay, so you can't take him with Be'lakor. Well, Be'lakor is such a jerk. Okay, that's my line. I'm sticking to it. So the Librarian in Terminarum is fine. Like, it gives you another teleporty character that can bounce around the board. The +1 AP plus ignore cover makes your last cannons, what, AP4 ignore cover, which is really, really good. The Fleshhound units are great. The big thing here is the Flamers, I think, are better in small squads of 3. So I'd probably split them into 2 units of 3 to just have more things that can go and, like, get points places and screen and get on OC and stuff. But that's my thought, and I hope that helps you. So depending on what you do, though, if you really want to stick to it, like, just stick to it. Stick to it, put your head down, and just play a bunch of games with it. And hopefully that gives you some food for thought, Paul. And sadly, I won't be there because it is my wife's birthday. That's the no-no for me. So I will not be able to go. We're going to be going to see Toronto FC that day, I think. Or is it next weekend? Anyway, we got like season tickets to watch Toronto FC play. So we're going to go to a lot of games. And at some point, I'm going to go see the Habs play the Toronto Maple Leafs in Toronto. That's going to be great. I've never gone to a professional hockey game, ever. And I get to see the Habs versus Toronto. I'm really excited about that. So, but that's the Canadian in me coming out, eh? Moving on. Dorian. I am trying to find the balance between action monkeys and damage dealers. Just give the monkeys a big bag of poop. Then they'll become the damage dealers. The little things that make me smile. Lane, Ian, live stream. It's only 2:30 in the morning here in Australia. Well, good thing you've got up. Get her done. Let's go. The question is, Be'lakor that vital? Question mark. I guess we know how you feel though, Dorian, since you posted that you don't think he is. But you have a Bloodthirster, two Bloodthirsters, one with Scout, one with Fade away, one Exalted Flamer. They're not bad. I like the Exalted Flamers. Great Unclean one. See, the Rend Monster is good for damage dealing on the Blood Crushers. So yeah, you're definitely going for that. You got the Skull Master with a Juggernaut making that big brick. Those Blood Crushers are actually really nasty. 3 Nurglings, 10 Plague Bearers for sticky because you're not taking cultists. 3 Flamers, 6 Blood Crushers. Beast of Nurgle. Oh, that's a thing, Paul, by the way. Beasts of Nurgle, honestly. If you, like, 1 or 2 Beasts of Nurgle are phenomenal. Like, if you can find a way to fit them into your list, I highly, highly recommend. I just finished work. Oh, that's a late night for you. Yeah, try and get a couple of Beasts of Nurgle, you know? Like, of course, here, Dorian's running 2 in like, 1 brick, because they're really tough to kill in 2s. But, like, 2 units of 1 are very good, and only 75 points each. They're a steal. They're very good. They screen, they scout, they do actions, they can survive, and if your opponent doesn't kill them, boom, right back to full. 65 points, sorry. Okay. I do. Ooh, all of you in chat just got really excited about me doing math wrong. 65 points, you're right. You are very right. I'm sorry. A couple of Flesh Hound units. So your list, Dorian, is definitely more elite, right? So I do feel like the style is completely different. Whereas Paul is kind of going for more of a toolkit style. You're just going for a hammer. It seems like you've played enough Vanguard Nids where now you just need a big effing hammer and you just want to crack some skulls. Oh my gosh. Yeah, beasts are actually really, really, really cheap. It's so cheap. Gross. Anyway, yeah. Nurgle Matthew. Hey, as soon as we start talking about Nurgle Matthew pops up out of the little goo pit. He's like, "Nee!" Hello, Nurgle Matthew. Hey, thanks so much for the 5 gifted memberships. Make sure you pop in, grab your memberships, folks, and accept your little memberships. Thank you so much. That means a lot. Keyword search populates results. There you go. That's how that works. Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, thank you so much. That means a lot. Thanks for the gifted subs. Hey, Skari, how do you deal with Imperial Knights as Drukhari? I have 3 Scourge, 1 Haywire, 3 Lances, but Southern Investments, 3 Scourge, 1 Haywire, 3 Lances. Do you mean like 1 Haywire and 3 Lances in each unit? Or 1 Haywire and 2 units of Lances? No, I only take 2 units of Scourge. The third one is too expensive. 2 units of Scourge. Either double Haywire or 1 Lance, 1 Haywire. That's it. And the key to playing Knights is you hide, and hopefully they play 2 KG, and you kill like 1 or 2 Knights a turn, and then they lose. I'm playing with the idea of no Be'lakor because it opens up a third Bloodthirster. You have 2 Bloodthirsters there already. Oh, this has no Be'lakor. Okay. Now, the thing about Be'lakor is he's, especially if you have so many few units that are big like this, he does have his, like, lone up aura still, right? Right? I hope he does. Which does help a lot of your stuff just stay alive in a lot of matchups, that then allows you to get aggressive. So I think he's really worth it. Plus, he has a decent amount of shooting. I think his shooting is very good into things like elves, especially. Like, just having that amount of shooting is very, very useful into elves. I'm not touching that keyboard. 1 Haywire and 2 Lances. Okay, yeah, so I don't rate Lances at all. I hate Lances. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them so much. I love Haywire. Haywire is my jam. Let's go, Haywire. Let's go. Yeah, if Nurgle was all over that keyboard, definitely don't want to get that. Other than that, Dorian, like the list itself seems well. The thing that I would always recommend, I know we talked about this on our coaching call, but I like 2 units of 1 Beast of Nurgle. So then you have 3 units of 1 Beast of Nurgle in your list. Like, I think because you have so many big, meaty things, people are going to be focusing on those. you just like having more units that can go around and screen and stuff. And you don't really have any, so other than the 10 plague bears, you don't really have too many backfield objective holders. The plague bear sticky objectives move on, so that's not bad. But I feel like, I guess you can uppy downy and kind of keep your backfield screened with the uppy downy stuff that you use. But you have like bloodthirster, and then blood crushers, like 3 big like murder units. The Ren Master's pretty good. The Great Unclean One soaks up damage. The Exalted Flamer is a little flexible piece. And then you've got Flamers that can go do damage. And that 1 Beast of Nurgle. And then if you split the 2 Beast of Nurgles, I feel it'll give you a good mix. Now, you don't have any range shooting, which is why I like the Havocs in the list, because it just, just to kill that, like, 1 Rhino or a Raider or a Venom or something. Like, just to kill or, like, threaten open spaces on the board to make your opponent consider the fact that you have anti-tank guns, right? Anyway, moving on. Hopefully that helps, Dorian, as you develop this list. Tragic Grief. Hey, Greg, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. Hi, Scary. Hello, Greg. I've taken your advice and added in Ludas. Excellent. I love Ludas. They're probably going to get nerfed, but they're good right now. All the Ludas I could find, I've removed the Morkanaut. Sad, but if you're trying to be competitive, we have to make those sacrifices sometimes. No problem, Dorian. But I kept the 5 Mega Knobs with Gazgul just to make sure that Death Star unit makes up the table. Yep. No burners, but the Storm Boys are back. I love Storm Boys. I'm practicing this list for an entire month of April. I still appreciate your advice. Amazing. So that's number 1, Greg. Good on you for picking, sticking on in lane, because that's the best way to get good. Number 2, if you haven't, hit that like button. Hit the like button. Oh, bow! That was a stealth one. Yeah. Yeah, and that's like the main thing. It's very important. So you're playing more Daka. Fingers crossed we'll see how long more Daka lasts. I'm very, very, very much against. I'm so against people banning crap on the internet. Like, stop banning stuff, okay? Just play it. Like, Harlequins were stupid, Dark Eldar was stupid, Orks were stupid, Admech were stupid, early Necrons were stupid, and Gene Stealer Cult was stupid, and Eldar was stupid. Like, we have gone through stupid. We've just gone through stupid already. There's no point in now, at this point in time, a year and a half into an edition, being like, brr, we should now start banning things. No, okay? Just stop being wusses and play the damn game and let the Orc players have some fun for a little bit until Games Workshop and everything nerfs them, because it's gonna happen, okay? Just suck it up. Just suck it up. Okay. Rant over. You can also listen to more on the Stutter Scrub podcast, because we had a whole episode on that. You can tell I'm still not over it. I just think that, you should let the meta sort of, adjust itself. Give it time for people to actually have to think about problem solving instead of just cookie cuttering everything. Where is that creative thinking in the game today? Where is it? People don't practice as much as they used to. They just copy lists, which is fine. But I advocate practicing your list. I advocate playing something that vibes with you. And if there's something that's bad and mean in the meta, just practice against it. You might have a tough time, but any game can be won. Any game. I am proof of that. So I will harp on that until the cows come home. Okay, rant over. It was a 2-tiered rant. It was like, one of those landmines that you pick up, and there's a landmine under the landmine. Well, if you didn't account for that second landmine. Okay, Big Mech with Shock Attack Gun, Gazgul, War Boss, Zogrod. Nice. Love it. Zogrod, Wartsnagga, one of the most dangerous units in all of Warhammer in Daka. Literally. That strat should be 2 CP at least, or once per game. You know what I mean? But, I digress. Unit of boys for Sticky, a truck times 3, so 3 trucks. 2 flash kits, big brick of Gretchen, small brick of Gretchen, 10 Ludas, nice, 5 Mega Knobs, a couple of Storm Boys, some time. I love this list. This list is actually a nice mix of everything. And I feel like this kind of list will survive the nerf way better than a list that's like 3 Ludas, 3 this, 3 that. Like, I feel like it'll be a lot easier to adjust your list if like point changes and stuff happen, because it's very easy to like take away 1 or 2 mega knobs, right? Like take away 1 or 2 mega knobs, and all of a sudden you pay for like the Stormboy, you pay for like the tank busters and the looters that went up, and maybe the mechs and things like that, right? Like all in all, I like it. You've got Stormboys to score points plus 3 trucks. You've got 10 Gretchen that can screen your backfield. You've got the 10 boys. You don't put them in a truck. You stick your home objective and then use them more in the midfield to sticky objectives. You've got tank busters that can focus on tanks. You've got the looters that can focus on anything. And then you've got the big brick of 20 Gretchen with Zogwart, which can, or 22 basically, which can fly up the board turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, and just like pin people in as you sort of like maneuver and get firing angles and get into zones, and just have them kill Gretchen for like 2 turns. And then you can like, boom, flash kits, boom. And then if they kill your little stuff, then Gazgul comes in and just starts mopping up. Right? Plus, Gazgul's a great countercharge unit, so if anything kind of jumps into you, you just throw Gazgul at him. So all in all, you took what I said the last time I went over your list, and this list now feels a lot more solid. Like it feels like you have the tools you need, so now you can really focus on where to deploy. How do the firing lanes work? You know, staying outside of footprints. You know, where do you stage into? You know, as a note, as an Orc player, a lot of players are not taking Wrecking Balls. Now, the reason they're not taking the free Wrecking Ball is because the Wrecking Ball stands out and sticks out over a lot of buildings. So by taking the Wrecking Ball off, not using it as an upgrade, it allows your truck to remain a small profile so you can tuck into buildings and not be seen. It gives you better staging points. Just something to keep in mind when you're building your trucks, to like potentially try them without the Wrecking Ball. Hola, ¿estás en México, Jason? Ándale, muy bien. Ojalá estás disfrutando de la playa o si estás ahí de trabajo. Pero un saludo, Jason. I hope you're doing well, bud. Here I am talking in Spanish now. But nice, thanks a lot for saying hi from my lovely Mexico. Okay. Good Orc list. Fantastic. This is great. I really liked it. And I love it because it has flavor. Like you've added your own flavor to it. I love that you're like, you know what? I'm gonna take Gazgul and Megnobs because they crush things, right? Gazgul is the biggest and the strongest. He's just gonna go in and he's scary. Like people have to respect him. I would actually, as my elf list, I would much rather play into the meta def, like the meta Daka list than this list, because this has a little bit more options and isn't so mono-dimensional. Okay, moving on. Nostal says, hey Skari, here's the Skysplitter list I've been running for a while. Generally, I love it, but the 5 Incubi and Venom don't seem to perform as well as I'd want them to. They come to 155 points, I'm struggling to fit anything in there. What do you think? Well, I'll tell you right now that in Skysplitter, 5 Incubi and a Venom just don't exist in my army anymore unless I can put an Archon with them. Then they exist. But in Skysplitter, my Archon goes my court, goes with Cabalites, goes in the Raider. So the Incubi were one of those things that just boop came off the list. However, in Reaper's Wager, 5 Incubi with Drazar have been an absolute money unit. I'm loving 5 Incubi with Drazar. That's the end of that point. So let's go to your list. 2,000 points with an Archon with Shroud, Beastmaster, Lilith, and Urian. Great character selection. That's what I take. 10 Cabs, 5 Racks, 10 Witches. Good. 1 Raider, triple Venom. So you can drop that Venom. You don't need it for the Incubi. That's 70 points saved. Core of the Archon, right? Kronos, Incubi, 85 points. Drop that. So now you're looking at 55 points. Yeah, 155 points. Mandrakes. Scourge. Haywire. Double Haywire. Okay, nice. I do think because you do have the Talos, I would try and make one of those Scourge Lances, but if you've been having fun with the bunch of Haywire, I love Haywire, so I'm not going to fault you with that. I just do like having 1 or 2 things that can shoot like really far and kind of like cause my opponent to double think what they want to do. Big Brick of Talos and avoid Raven Bomber. Amazing. Great list. Looks very similar to my LVO list. So, 150 area points, what do you do? Number one, grotesques. So you put 5 grotesques in there. Oh, 5 grotesques. 3 grotesques in there, 80 points, giving you 75 points. Bam. What do you put in with 75 points? 5 Helios, as an example, right? Another thing you could do with 155 points is put 2 more Chronos in. So double up on your Chronos, giving you some more meat and potatoes. Instead of the 3 grotesques, you could just add 2 more Chronos and have like 2-2, which is also good. And then have 55 points left, which gives you 5 racks, 5 more racks in the troop slot. That's another good choice. Gives you more battle line, more OC, and a better anti-horde option as well, since you already have a lot of like anti-tank options in there too. And I think those are 2 sort of like excellent ways of kind of using those points. Yeah, but other than that, I wouldn't overthink it too much. Like you could go for a Ravager for 110 and then a Succubus for 45 points if you just want a cheap Action Monkey, or someone else that can go with the other 5 Witches that you split with Lilith's Venom, and then they could Rapid Ingress or have a little fight first, Heroic Intervention Thread or something to just skirmish with. So that's another option, plus a Ravager gives you some Dark Lances, right, which kind of helps you with that. So that's one option. You also have the 4-up Invul save, which I would definitely do in Skysplitter or whatever. But that's sort of like where I would go, like think about stuff like that too. No problem, Joel. Thanks a lot for hanging out. Have a great weekend, and of course, you too. I'll get to your list, and I guess you can go through it at some point as well. But thanks for tuning in. There's your list right there. See, it's the next one. Thank you very much, Falls, for the reminder to everybody. I really appreciate it. Okay. So with that, yeah, like the list is good. Like that's where I'd look at the points. Either putting some grotesques in, which really does help. If you could find 5 more points, you could put 2 units of grotesques in, right? But you're 200 points on the, or 2,000 points on the nose. There's not really much wiggle room when it comes to that. You know, you could go ahead and drop the racks for a 3rd Chronos, right? So you could do like 3 Chronos and then have 160 points left over and then put 2 units of 3 grotesques to skirmish instead of the racks. Now that's another good option as well. Norman Hamacher, how do I get my list rated? That is a fantastic question. So the list crunch and this show in general is usually exclusive for patrons. Every once in a while I show it off, so everybody can be very jealous about what I do for patrons. We have a Discord. The patron link is in the description of the video, and whenever I do the show, I put up some threads on the Discord. Folks can ask a bunch of questions, which I'll answer, and then if you're a Scourge, Trueborn, or Incubi level patron, you can submit one list for every show, which I will break down, as well as having access to every Monday. I will post a full-length coaching or practice battle report where you get to see me play for the 4 hours, like full talk, and I talk a lot about what my choices are, why I'm doing things, etc., etc. So you get access to a whole bunch of that stuff, as well as some swag and things like that too. Okay, but that, Norman, is how you can submit your list, and anybody else, if anybody else is interested. You also have to like this video in order for me to rate the list. Okay, so Court Mandrakes, but that hopefully gives you some food for thought on your list. Moving on, we have Pirate Panda. Joel, wandering into Gladius. I know, you've been like on the Vanguard, on the, is it Vanguard? Vanguard Space Marines? You've been on the Vanguard train very, very, very judiciously. And you're now sort of like, you played like, you're another kind of person that literally stuck to your lane and played like 100 games with Vanguard, like, and now you went to LVO with it and did okay, and like your goal has been to get better and improve, and it's admirable. You've really improved since we started talking as one of the Incubi, and it's really cool to see that now you're like, okay, I'm comfortable enough to like to kind of just dip into other things, because now I know Space Marines, so let's see what other flavors of Space Marines there are. So Lieutenant Carl and the Galaxy Rangers. By the way, Lieutenant Carl comes from the game I played against Joel. I think we filmed it. Should be one of the battle reports on the channel against his Ultramarines. And we had Lieutenant Carl, who was just running around, and he became a thing. So now he's a part of every list, because he's awesome. So we have a Judiciary with for fights first, the Lieutenant with a combi weapon, amazing. Calgar, Gulliman. So pretty standard, but kept it to 4 characters, not bad. Battle line, sticky objectives, Intercessor with Power Fist, Bolt Rifle. Now, I always like putting the Grenade Launcher. I believe you can give it to the Sergeant. So just as a note, I think the Sergeant can have Grenade Launcher, Power Fist, and all his stuff, and then everybody else can just have, like, I'm pretty sure, I think it's possible. Because like that, you don't have to. You can kill him at the end and still have all of the cool stuff. Big brick of aggressors, probably to go with Calgar. Big unit of assault intercessors. Now you gave him frag storms. Ooh, you give him frags instead of flamers. Nice, just to twin-linked bolt storm people to death. 2 ballistas dreadnoughts, which is the perfect amount for Space Marines. Big brick of blade guard, which you could have Calgar join or by themselves with a Judiciary, right? So you can kind of mix it. The servo turret. Now, this is, I'm going to say, a flex. Okay, if you want to be the servo turret, that's a flex. It overwatches for free, basically every turn. And I think it has a fire. I don't know what else rules it. Actually, I want to check it out. Because it's funny, because I've had another coaching client that has been playing a lot in his local meta. And this one Black Templar player he plays against has a Reaper turret, a servo turret, one of these fire strike turrets in his list all the time. And he doesn't stop telling me how much he hates the damn turret because he plays with he plays with World Eaters. I'm assuming it's like 3 damage turret or something. It is a model I do not own. I do not actually own a little servo turret. But it's okay. Everybody ready for a little lesson on the turret? Cheeseballs has been following along with the stream, editing my own list. Ended up with Scari's list minus the grotesques. Amazing. There you go. Like, it's not like I knew how to make a list, but if you don't take the grotesque, take something else, right? Take something that you like in your list. Like, take my list and then make it your own. Take somebody else's list and then make it your own. Take the thing that vibes with you in that list. So this servo turret is cool. It's 3 movements, so it does actually move a little bit. Toughness 6, 2 up save. 2 up save. 6 wounds, leadership 6, and a 2 OC. Not bad. It is artillery, vehicle, Imperium. It's a vehicle. Okay, so it's a vehicle. Nice. It has a 3 attack close combat weapon. It's just basically a Space Marine in there. He has, each time you fire Overwatch, oh no, it's every time you fire Overwatch with it, you hit on 4s. So just hitting on 4s with, so it's just, that's awesome. Warrior options, you can make it an autocannon or a twin lass cannon, and you can have 1 to 2 turrets in the unit. So 150 points would be 2 turrets, that's 12 wounds for 150 points. So 75 is not bad, a little like chunky unit. And now we have the ranged weapon. So you can either have a last talon, which is 2 shots, hits on 2s normally, strength 10, AP3, D6 plus 1, twin link. So a twin link, strength 10, 36-inch last cannon, or, well, strength 10 last cannon, or 3 shots, hits on 2s, strength 9 minus 1, 3 damage, twin linked, 48 inches on the autocannon. But of course, they have to be 24 to shoot. That's not terrible. I do like that last talon though. 2-shot last talon. So 2 last cannons that are twin linked that like Overwatch on 4s. Imagine if you like oath the target, you know, like secondary oath the target, like kill something, secondary oath something, they move it up in the range of the fire turret, and you're like, bap, 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 bap. It's too funny. Okay, we all learned something new today. Totally gonna buy one now to put one in my Black Templars just for S's and giggles. 1 infiltrator squad, excellent. I would never make a Space Marine list without an infiltrator squad. Predator Destructor, interesting. Not bad. I guess it's a little cheaper than a Reaper. Scout Squad. Yep. So, Scout Squad. Excellent. Predator Destructor and Fire Strike Servo Turret. Fun choices. But you know how to use them, so they're actually really dangerous. Infiltrator, good. Blade Guard, good. Ballistas, amazing. Assault Intercessors with jump packs, which I missed. Good. Aggressors, good. Intercessors, good. Like, this is a good list. Like, the only thing I see missing is, like, out of line of sight shooting. So either Whirlwind or Desolation Marines. But that really depends on your meta. Like, the only thing you could really do is drop the Predator, drop the servo turrets, add Desolation Marines, and that would sort of like help you play against like, you know, elves and stuff like that that are just really annoying. But your fight's first Judiciary is pretty good at that too. Archimade says, would you say the Darkland spam isn't wise to play? Hey, some people love their Darkland spam. Like, some of my first lists of 10th edition were basically Darkland spam. You know, 3 Ravagers, 3 units of Scourge with Dark Lances, you know, 2 or 3 units of Cavalite Warriors with Dark Lance each with Raiders. You know, like, it was all Dark Lance focused. But cover plus armor contempt made Dark Lances feel terrible. Now, it is probably better now, since you can only armor contempt against 1 activation. So it's a lot less effective into, like, because before you could have a Redempted Dreadnought with a 2-up save, in cover, with armor contempt, and it was, like, impossible to kill Dark Lances, because Dark Lances would go to AP 1. So they go to 3-up saves, which was, like, so frustrating for, like, every Dark Lance shooting at them. And then they were, like, minus damage and all this stuff. But now, you know, I would like to revisit it at some point for sure. It's just a matter, I don't think it's unwise. I just think it's a style of list that I don't enjoy because it does rely on a lot of commitment. So you have to like commit the Ravagers to see you. You have to commit the this to see you, right? Where I like playing a lot of, I might not have too much shooting, but I can like pop out, shoot you, run away, and then you can't interact with my army. So I don't lose anything. So then I have the same amount to do it again next turn. So it's a lot more consistent, but a lot less like multi-damage if your opponent deploys wrong. You go brah and just shoot like 16 Dark Lances at them or whatever. Pezler says, hard to believe that this is your first Adepticon. Do you feel more adept now? I do. Adepticon has always been this mythical creature in the background, you know, and I finally got to go to one. Huge shout out to Mini Wargaming. Dave and Matthew took me to Mini Wargaming as part of the booth crew. I was at the booth doing demos of the Ravage Star game, which, by the way, super fun game. Like, I was running demos, and I've learned the game. I've helped develop the game. Like, Matthew wrote the rules. Dave kind of, like, helped with the sculpting and the vision of, like, all the stuff and, like, what they wanted to look like. And then every time Matthew would build like rules or he'd give them to us in the studio and we'd play test them and like break the hell out of them. We'd like try and just 40k the crap out of it. Like, I'm gonna take 3 of these and 4 of these because they're so good. And eventually we've created a really fun balanced game. And it feels really good because every single person had so much fun just learning it. They had like 4 or 5 units on the little demo table. And I set up that demo the same way like 30 times. And every single time that little demo was totally different, and that just says something. Like letting the people know what they could do, and every single interaction for every single players was just different. It was just different. Okay, which was awesome. But now Adepticon, I'm so excited. It was massive. It was huge. It was crazy. It was fun. I met so many awesome, fun people, and I cannot wait to go back. I cannot wait to go back, and I really like it. It's like Adepticon was like awesome. It was like it inspired me. Like, that's why I'm painting. I've been painting my little buggy for. I was like, I'm just gonna get stuff done. I want to paint. I want to play. I want to get things. Anyway, let's just do that there. So moving on. Hell Jumper says, "Hey Scary, I just got done reading the Lilith book, and it makes me want to go stabby with the Darkin. Here's my new list. Awesome. I love it when the lore sort of like encourages us to play the game. It's like intricately like combined, right? Lords of the Iron Thorn, Skysplitter Assault. Yeah, the OG right here. Archon with Nightmare Shroud, Archon with Spiteful Raider, Drazar, Lilith. So you're just going all stabby. Holy crap. Didn't even bother with a beast pack. Just straight up. Cabs. 10 cabs, 10 witches. I love that witches are just 80 points. Split them, they're like 40 points for 10 OC. It's like the cheapest OC in the game. It's so good. Venom. You have 4 Venoms. Good. Chronos. Good. Incubi. Triple Archon Incubi units. Mandrake. Ravager. Scourge. Bomber. Yeah, there you go. That's the spirit. So Scourge, good. Ravager. I thought you were going all stabby. Where are the grotesques? Where are the talos? There's no stabby in Ravager. There's no stabby Ravagers. Just gonna. Yeah, that's good. You have some extra light. That's where I would find the points. I'd find 220 points there to put in, like, 3 units of or 2 units of grotesques plus more Brax or something. I do think that you're going all stabby, but I would recommend dropping one of the incubi units so that the Archon that has like nightmare. No, the Archon with that's fine. Whatever. Your detachments are fine. It's all good. Like, it's a very fun list. Like, you have enough shooting to support the combat. You don't really have too many sort of like skirmishing units that you can kind of throw into. No beast pack, no racks. You only have like 5 witches and the 5 cabs that can kind of skirmish. So that's where I'd kind of use the points from the Ravagers to maybe add in 1 or 2 skirmishing units so that you don't have to commit, because you only Wraith-like retreat 1 unit, right? But as long as you keep the Venoms alive, you can do it multiple times, which is fine. Taffy says, can we get a sneak peek of your new double bomber list before the teams event? I think it's on BCP. Toronto team tournament. It's on BCP. Yeah, it's just on there, I guess. What's that? What's that? Oh yeah, no problem, Taffy. Just go check it up. It's not. I don't think they're hidden or anything. But yeah, that's what I would say. Hell Jumper, nice to see you back on the Drukhari train, rolling some dice, getting some stuff done. It's fantastic. Moving on, we've got Cosmic. Hey Cosmic, what's going on? Did some more tuning for my Reaper's wager list. Amazing. However, you're taking the Chaos Knights to the latest event that you're going to, right? Landed on not feeling the Drazar. That's fine. It took me a while to feel the Drazar, but liking pushing more of the experiments. Excellent. Scary, how many points of Drukhari do you think you have in total? Sidetracked me. I'll have to actually count it. I have like quite a lot on my table right now that I'm fixing. So like a Ravager that sort of like snapped off its base, a Venom that needs basing, a Talos that needs fixing, another Talos / Kronos that needs fixing, a bunch of Cabalite warriors that I need to pull arms off to give them weapons so I can run another Cabalite squad because since they kind of all come together now. Speaking of more hobby, I'd like to get back into a weekly night of painting on the Discord. Maybe Tuesdays? Yeah, that'd be awesome. It'd be awesome to have like a little hobby Discord hobby night. I should have a laptop soon so I can actually do online stuff while I'm at mini wargaming, which will really open up some of the stuff I can do with patrons like in the evenings because I'm away from home at mini wargaming. Okay. Let's take a look at this list. The Jester's Blood. Nice. Archon with Arc Raider, Beastmaster, Lilith, Orion. Solid. Can't complain. Cabs, Witches. Good. Venom, amazing. Kronos, good. Grotesques, good. Drakes, good. Scourge, good. Talos, awesome. Death Jester, Skyweaver. See, this list has a little bit of everything. I'm a fan. See, I would personally drop the Skyweavers and make the Grotesque unit a 6-strong unit. And then you have 15 points left over, which, I guess would be a little awkward to spend. Maybe a Solitaire instead of the Death Jester or something. I don't know what the point difference is there. But I like the list. Like, the Talos in Reapers are great. The Death Jester is decent. 2 Void Weavers are excellent. I really like them. The Scourge are good. They keep them alive. Mandrakes, amazing. Kronos, very useful. Grotesques, in Reapers, I have found I love my 6-strong Grotesque unit. It is amazing. Couple of Venoms, good to split the Witches and Cabs. 5 Cabs with the Archon can scout to stick you home an objective. 5 Witches with Lilith, you can either deep strike them for rapid ingress or sort of like move them across the board, whatever works for you. Beastmaster for some early aggression, move blocking, and then Orion Rakarth to sit in the middle objective and go, what you can do about it, right? Which is literally what he does. Hey, Don Hooson! The best part of waking up is when Skari stands are up. Thank you, Don. Means a lot. Thank you so much for hanging out. Really appreciate the super chat. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much for this. What do you think of 5 Harlequins and a Star Weaver to flip the wager and do some skirmishing? When I run Harlequins, I go all in. I run like a big brick of 11 Harlequins. No skirmishing, and then like my skirmishing is done by the Void Weavers. They're the ones that like finish off things to like flip the wager so the rest of my Dark Eldar can either do really well in the shooting phase or really well in the upcoming fight phase. The streams are up. Yeah, not the stands. Okay, I get it. The streams. But thank you, Don. Means a lot as well. Oh, yeah, so in terms of that, I think based on our conversation, the only thing that I feel like we talked about the Skyweavers, you know how I feel about them, but at the same time, like I understand why you want them. You want them to be like a skirmishing unit, which is great. So them and the Grotesques together might fill a very similar role than me running the 6 Grotesques, except I really like the 6 Grotesques as like a hammer. They just go in and they're just like, brah, and then they have 6d6 flamers, and those things are cool. I've killed so many things. Then again, it's a little swingy. Like today I was like, take 10 saves, Space Marines, and they like failed 1 armor save because they were in cover. And I was like, well, didn't kill any of them. Good job. But that's me. Other than that, like we played it out. I think that with a couple of changes, like this list would be really good. And I'd love to, when we play our next like coaching match, you run it into something else you want to run it into, and I feel like you'll find this style of Reaper's Wager is much more akin to what the detachment vibes really well with. Yeah. And moving on. Carl Malone. Andrew. Looking at Reapers to run at this weekend of the GT. Nice. Only a Solitaire and Death Jester open to suggestions, cuts, additions, or other lists people are running. Well, you've been able to see plenty of lists that folks have been running with lots of the like similar elements. You know, it's hard to make a Dark Eldar list without an Archon, without Urien, you know. However, you didn't put an Archon in your list. What have I done? So you have Beast Pack, Lilith, Urien, Tegan Cabs, 10 Witches, 2 Venoms, 2 Chronos, 2 units of Talos, 2 units of Dark Lance, of Scourge, 2 units of Mandrakes, 2 units of Grotesque, 1 big brick of Hellions, and Death Jester. See, I like this. This is good. The Death Jester is awesome for some cheeky flipping. The 10 Hellions are great. I really recommend trying the big brick of 6 Grotesques in conjunction with 10 Hellions. That's exactly what I've been doing, and it has been money. I've really enjoyed it. However, you have the 2 Talos units, so you don't have the Archon, which makes me sad. But at least you have the Cavalite Warriors. The thing is, Vect Aura can be incredibly useful, but the only way to put that in is like you're taking a Chronos out. I mean, a Talos unit out. So, I don't know, you could potentially do that. I don't think so. I think this list is fine. The Archon, though, I would miss the Archon. Like, I would really, really, really miss the Archon, personally. But in terms of that, you have all the other elements that I like to see. Yeah. And you're also missing Drazar, which I've also been using in my Reapers list, and he is incredible in Reapers. Very, very good in Reapers. But yeah, good luck at the GT, by the way. Make sure you take some pictures or put it up in the Discord on the event chat or on the like discussing our like raids or whatever that we have in there too. And I'm really curious to see how it goes. By the way, thanks a lot, everybody, for hanging out so far. This has been super fun. I've really enjoyed it. We've been going over lists and doing all that sort of stuff. Of course, if you haven't already, like this video, leave a comment down below. Let me know what your favorite current list build is. Let me know what your opinion is on banning things. I want to know. I want to have a little discussion down in the comments. And of course, if you'd like to be a part of this show that I do whenever I can on Fridays, usually every week, unless I'm off to an event, then be a part of the Patreon. The link is in the description down below, and it is the Patreon community, the members here on YouTube, that allow me to do this. So if you like this sort of content and you want to help me continue to do it, that's the way to do it, and get involved and be a part of the community. Join the Discord. Join the Discord. That's right. Joining the Discord is free, by the way. Go to the Patreon link, go to Collections, the Collections tab. There is a tag that says Promos or whatever, and in there, there's the Discord link that you can join the Discord and hang out. Just make sure you follow the CAPTCHA so that you get a role, or else you will be booted, because I don't want any bots in there. I ban banners of banning Bannington. I know. What is all this banning? I don't get it. Okay, Crispy Engineer. Astro Militar. Combined Regiments. By the way, Combined Regiments, one of my favorite detachments. Yeah. I really like it. I think I tested it, played against Tanya Gates, and we both played Combined Regiment. I was like, oh, I started like, we're playing like a mirror match, basically the same list against each other. And I was like, ooh, these are really cool. It had all these cool little like combos and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's really neat. That's really neat. Like, it was very, very, very entertaining. Only Necron bots allowed. No, not even Necron bots. Not allowed. Never. So Gaunt's Ghost, excellent choice. Command Squad, Tempestus, good. Rogue Dome Commander, Ursula Creed. That's a pretty standard, what I would consider a standard HQ build for Guard. 2 units of Canogens, good scouting units with Flamers. Voxcasters for some free CP if Ursula's around. 1 Chimera, Toroxes, a couple of Toroxes as well. Neat. You're running 3 artillery teams. Wow, you went all in on this. You're just like, bang, bang, bang. Amazing. These big artillery teams are scary. They're hard to hide, though. 10 Casterkin, 2 Leman Battle Tank, great for the reroll hit rolls. Leman Exterminator for the extra AP. Dorn Battle Tank, just extra, and then 10 Scions. So I love how killer your list is. The only thing is that you're missing a lot of the little units that you need to like score points. Because if I were to play against you, I would basically try and kill the Canogens as quickly as possible and the Chimeras, if you're getting too aggressive with them. I would then, so once they're dead, you basically have to do action-based secondaries and other things with artillery teams, which are usually in the backfield, or your Casterkin or Scions, which you need to be shooting and killing stuff, or your tanks, right? So it's like, okay. So I feel like, and you don't really have an infiltrating unit, which you kind of need to make sure you can take advantage of your scouts and prevent enemy scouts or infiltrators from getting up in your face. Because in this case, great list concept, but there are very specific things that will absolutely make it a terrible game for you. Like, it would be very tough. Like 30 infiltrating gene stealers. Right, that's a very common list, and you see that like 30 gene stealers, and that's going to be like, if they go first, there's no real way for you to block them off, right? World Eater's army, right? Hey, Market Corn, how's it going? See, look, we're talking about World Eaters. Boom, Market Corn just shows up, right? Like a World Eaters unit, like, or a scouting World Eaters army that scouts up into the middle of the board and then just rushes you, right? Or the new Goremongers, which are infiltrate. They're infiltrating World Eaters. They'll like be close to you, and if they go first, they tie you up, they move block your tanks, and then you're just stuck in your deployment zone feeling miserable. So how do we fix it? Well, like, the artillery teams are awesome. I'd probably only take one of them. I don't think you need the second Torox. I think you can get away with just putting the Casterkin on foot, but the Torox is okay for them. And then put the 2 jungle fighters in Chimeras. So that saves you 170 points, 160 points. I would definitely see about putting in a unit of Ratlings, right? Rattling snipers are really good for this. They're very cheap. They can string out at least one corner of the table. And then the rest of it, I might like put in a big brick of like Deathcore Krieg or a double brick of Cadians. You don't have any sticky objectives. So like adding a squad of Cadians wouldn't be a bad idea to sticky objectives, and have another infantry unit that can kind of screen, and let your tanks do all the heavy lifting. Let them kill stuff. Let them do things. Little units of Scions are still good for like scoring points and deep striking. That's an option as well. But that's the kind of thing I would recommend. So like workshopping this idea is where I would kind of end up with that as well. Now they are a dream. I know. The good old infiltration on Khorne armies. What is this madness? There's 2 Chaos guys. I know. Don Huson. Well, there was Nurgle Matthew, Don Huson, big Nurgle guys, and now we got Market Khorne. The Chaos are just seeping out of the woodwork here. Literally seeping, because it's all Necron-y seepingness. Right? Oh, that's fun. Okay, and that was the final list of the list crunch, and that has been today's weekly show. Of course, if you like the videos, like it. If you leave a comment, help the algorithm, share it with your friends. And remember, it's been the first time I've gone to Adepticon, so that was super fun. Hopefully I see you at the next one as well. Razurik says 3. There's 3 Chaos guys in the chat. 2 Chaos guys in the chat. 7 Chaos Generals in the chat. And now we all go watch Sesame Street. Other than that, thanks all for watching, everybody. I've been Skary, your grateful host. Support me any way you can. It's fine. And I love you all. You're amazing. Thanks all for being awesome and the best community on the internet. I'll see you on the Discord. Skary out. The Dark Kin. Bye, everybody.